Hi, I'm Serotonin, and this is my Rotface 25-man walkthrough. I hope you enjoy. For this boss, you'll need 2 tanks of any type, one for the boss, and then the other one to kite the oozes, and then you'll also need 5, 6, or 7 healers, depending upon how much DPS that you have. For positioning, you'll just have Rotface right in the middle of the room. This is especially important because there will be slimes that are coming out. Ranged and healers and melee need to group up so that way you're like in a semicircle behind him. So that way as soon as he targets somebody, you can immediately run to the other side. The other off tank will make certain that he's around the outer ring, and you can run counterclockwise, clockwise, whatever you want to do. And the reason why you want to stay in the middle of the room is because the room will actually fill 1/4 of a side with slime, as you can see by my wonderful illustration right there. As far as the abilities of this fight, there really aren't too many. The first one is Ooze Flood. Again, it fills 1/4 of the room, and it does 6k damage every 1 second to anyone within it, and it also reduces your movement speed, so just stay out of it. Enough said. The next ability is Slime Spray. It targets a random person. It does 5k nature damage every 1 second for 5 seconds. And this isn't a cone. This is the reason why you need to get to the other side of him. He also does Mutated Infection. It does 4k damage every 1 second for 12 seconds. You need to run out to your ooze tank and make certain that healers, you dispel this as soon as the person runs out of the group. The little ooze will follow you, so you don't need to worry about it wandering away. Alright, as far as the oozes that you're going to be dealing with, the first one is the small ooze. It does a sticky ooze spray. It creates a puddle of ooze near the person that it targets. It does 3k nature damage every 1 second and decreases your movement speed. It also does weak radiating ooze. It does 3k nature damage to anyone within 10 yards of it, and it will also merge with a little ooze. Basically with these guys, whoever it's on, healers need to make certain to dispel it early. It's a lot easier to heal through the ooze coming out than it is the debuff, and make certain that you run to the tank. Now granted, if you're the first person with the little ooze, there's no other little ooze to merge it with, so the ooze tank can't grab it just yet, but as soon as you get a second little ooze, you'll be just fine. And when 2 little oozes, they come together, so beautiful, they create a big ooze. The big ooze also does the sticky ooze. It also does radiating ooze, which does 4k nature damage to anyone in 10 yards and slows their movement speed. Now this is when the tank can actually taunt the ooze so that way it follows him instead of anybody else. They also do unstable ooze. It increases damage by 20% every stack, and it stacks up to 5 times. It gets the stack as soon as it merges with another little ooze. So once you get 5 little oozes, it then becomes an unstable ooze, which will do the explosion. It does 8 ooze missiles, and it targets random people. It will do 12k nature damage to anyone within 6 yards of when they land. So make certain that as soon as he says, "I think I made an angry poo-poo, it's gonna blow," that's when you need to move, like to the other side of the room where there's no slime. And then it's good game. Alright, now for the fight itself. If you'll notice, we've just run in. Our main tank is positioning him at the middle of the room. And if you'll notice, we are bloodlusting, or popping heroism with whatever faction you are. At the very start of the fight. The reason why we do this is that the little oozes actually come out progressively faster as the fight goes on, so you want to make certain to get him down as quickly as possible. So when you do at the very start, you know, there's no little oozes and everyone can DPS as hard as, you know, they possibly can. So make certain you pop all your trinkets and all that stuff. If you'll notice, 1/4 of the room is now filled with the slime, and if you'll notice, our ooze tank is running around with ooze. Now make certain if you are tanking the oozes, you do not stop running. You want to taunt them, but you don't actually want them to come in contact with you because they do hurt. Just make certain that you try to stay away out of the slime, but you don't get close to anybody. And if you'll notice, the little ooze has just
Run away, little girl.
with the big
Run
ooze.
away.
And we are about to have a unstable ooze. It's just about there. And if you'll notice, I ran out as soon as I saw that I had the little ooze. I ran towards the big ooze, I got dispelled, and then I ran right back. If you'll notice, everyone is kind of around his legs, almost in a circle. He doesn't cleave, so you didn't need to worry about that. So just whenever he does his slime spray, like right now, you just run in the opposite way. Now notice, he just said his little thing about the exploding, and you run away from wherever it is you were, like to the opposite side of the room where there's no slime.
To the middle.
You'll notice there's the slime puddle. That will occur because of the little oozes or the big ooze, but you will have those. And at this point, it's just a matter of control. You need to make certain to keep the tanks up. You need to make certain that you're staying out of the slime. Healers, you need to dispel the little ooze, but you need to wait until the person's out, because if the little ooze should be popped right in the middle of the group, people will take a massive amount of damage. Also, if the person who has the little ooze dies, the little ooze will start following somebody, and whoever it's following, you need to immediately run out and run to the ooze tank or just out of the group until another little ooze spawns. Just remember that once the unstable ooze explodes, you'll have to wait until there's two little oozes to merge. And also, if two little oozes merge when you already have a big ooze, that's bad news bears. But otherwise, that's the fight, and good luck.